Hello, welcome to Learn English and Practice with Marie. Today we're going to do Advanced Vocabulary Builder lesson number 18, where we'll go through 10 advanced words and talk about their definitions, parts of speech, a couple of sample sentences, and at the end we'll do a practice story. So let's hop in. First, listen to me pronounce the words. Hypocrisy, incontrovertible, polyglot, innuendo, sovereign, derivative, implicate, itinerant, appraise, parry. First, hypocrisy. This means pretending to be what one is not or to believe what one does not. It's a noun. So someone who is a hypocrite would be in a state of hypocrisy. It's someone who is doing something that contradicts their beliefs or contradicts reality. Some examples here are many people view hypocrisy as a particularly odious character trait, and it is often held up as an example of what not to do. His hypocrisy was apparent when he criticized others for their extravagant spending, yet he himself lived a lavish lifestyle. Here's incontrovertible. All this means is indisputable, and it's an adjective. So something that's incontrovertible means it's true, it's the truth, and you can't dispute it. And it's a unnecessarily long word in my view. Just say it's true, but you can say it's incontrovertible. Some examples here are the evidence for climate change is now incontrovertible, with overwhelming scientific consensus on the subject. Incontrovertible proof of his guilt was presented at the trial, and he was subsequently found guilty. Polyglot. This is a person who knows or uses several languages. It's a noun. I know all of you are working on either learning English or improving your English. Perhaps you speak other languages. If you're speaking several languages, at least 3 or more, you would be considered a polyglot. I'm not really a polyglot because I speak English and I speak reasonably good Haitian Creole, but my other languages that I know, Spanish and French, I wouldn't count those as knowing them because my skills have gotten quite weak. So some examples here are she was a polyglot who spoke at least 6 different languages fluently. The United Nations is a truly polyglot organization with representatives from nearly every country in the world. Here's innuendo. This is an insinuation, typically a suggestive or disparaging one. This is a noun. So innuendo is something that's implied, but it's typically either something negative or something a little provocative. Some examples here are he made a series of sly innuendos about her relationship with her boss, hinting that it might be inappropriate. The comedian's jokes were full of innuendo and double entendres that made the audience laugh. Sovereign. This means having absolute authority in a certain realm. It's an adjective. So a king would, for example, have sovereign control over his territory, if he was effective. You could also use this as a noun and say a sovereign. So that is an example as well. The sovereign has the power to make laws, levy taxes, and regulate commerce in their kingdom. Sovereign states are those that have supreme authority within their own territories and are not subject to external control. Derivative. This means taken directly from a source or unoriginal. It's an adjective. So something that's derivative would be copied and maybe changed a bit, but really uninspired. So some examples here are she criticized his writing for being too derivative of popular authors. The film plot was predictable and derivative, lacking any originality. Implicate. This means to involve in an incriminating way as a verb, or to incriminate. So getting caught up in a crime or caught up in something bad would go along with being implicated in it. So some examples here are: the evidence presented by the prosecutor was not enough to implicate the defendant in the crime. The fingerprints found at the scene of the crime implicate the suspect. Itinerant. This means traveling from place to place as an adjective, or working in one place for a temporary period as an adjective. So think of the idea of itinerant as moving around or without permanency. Some examples here are: the itinerant musician traveled from town to town, playing on street corners for spare change. She took a job as an itinerant farm worker, traveling across the country to find employment. Here's appraise. This means to assess the worth or value of, and it's a verb. So if you watch the TV show Antique Roadshow, they are constantly appraising people's items that they bring in and determining the value. Also, in the case where you're getting a mortgage for your house, you'll have an appraisal done. So someone will come in and appraise the house and tell you its value. Examples here are: the real estate agent appraised the property and determined its value. The jeweler appraised the diamond ring and offered her a fair price. Lastly, we have parry. This means to ward off or deflect, especially in fencing or combat. It's a verb. So you can think of it literally in the context of swords and one sword kind of deflecting the other. You can also use it in the context of conversation, where someone says something to deflect what the other person is saying or to diffuse it in some way. Examples here are: the fencer expertly parried his opponent's thrust and landed a counterattack. She used humor to parry his criticism, diffusing the tension in the room. Let's listen to a story so we can practice with these words. In the city of Palermo, there lived a polyglot named Maria who spoke 5 languages fluently. She worked as an itinerant translator, traveling from place to place for her clients. One day, she received an assignment from the king, who wanted her to appraise some ancient manuscripts written in a derivative language. As she began to work on the manuscripts, Maria discovered an innuendo that implicated the sovereign client in some fraudulent activities. She was torn between her duty to appraise the manuscripts truthfully and her loyalty to the client. Maria decided to investigate further and found incontrovertible evidence of the client's hypocrisy. But she knew that it would be dangerous to accuse the sovereign of malfeasance. So she used her wit and parried the situation, pretending that she had not found anything suspicious. In the end, Maria completed the translation and handed over the manuscripts to the sovereign, who was none the wiser. But Maria could not shake off the ominous feeling that came with knowing the truth. She realized that sometimes being a polyglot also means having to keep major secrets. So let's go through these words one more time. Hypocrisy, incontrovertible, polyglot, innuendo, sovereign, derivative, implicate, itinerant, appraise, parry. Great job today. This is a series, so there will be more videos just like this one, and I'll put playlists and videos down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what you think about these words in the comments below. Thanks so much. See you in the next video.